Welcome back to Lori's Dollhouse Rejuvenation. For this episode, we're going to go inside. The floors in this place really need attention. I would say the whole house, but right now we're going to focus on the main floor. And you can see they're just worn. They have been refinished in the past, but it's been a long time. There are lots of stains, gouges, just general wear and tear. And you can really see just the age showing and the time here. So we're going to address that. Kind of a fun surprise here. Once I peeled that rug up, we discovered a foot buzzer or a foot bell. So whoever's sitting at the table could push this with their feet and then it would ring near the kitchen area, and I guess that means bring the oatmeal or something like that. So kind of a neat feature. So here's a shout out to Eli and crew at Out on a Limb Flooring. If you're in the Mid-Ohio Valley, I highly recommend them. So they did great work, and you're going to see the finished product here. But he's going to start by stripping the old finish off the floor, and it's gummy, it's gooey. And he's going to do this so that when they get to sanding, it won't gum up their sandpaper. So here's a shot of the floor after the initial stripping, and you can see most of the first floor has been done, and as we get into the foyer area here, you can see where it still has some of the shine left on the finish that he hasn't gotten to yet. And here he's going to begin sanding actually on the stairs, and I think he spent 2 full days sanding on those stairs. They're going to start with a heavy duty sander, and this is just a large rotating, fairly aggressive sander, and that's going to get everything nice and level, and then they're going to bring in the larger finish sander right behind it. And what you don't see is these guys on their hands and knees actually sanding the edges, because these big machines only get so close to the edges, and they were very careful of the woodwork as well. So a lot of that is just by hand. So a lot of that is just brutal work on their hands and knees and sanding close to the edges. You can see the difference here. On the right is the floor that has only been stripped, and you can see on the left there that they've got a head start on the sanding. And this floor is the entertaining parlor or the main parlor of the home, and it's actually a different type of wood. It's maple, and then as we transition into the dining room and the rest of the first floor, it's all oak, which is more typical of these older homes. So I think the maple really was kind of a step up into a formal parlor kind of room like we have here. And you can see the transition from the oak back into the maple into the former parlor room. And here you can see the complete sanded product. So they sanded for days and then spent another day or two cleaning and dusting and trying to get as much dust as possible off of the fixtures and the floor and the walls and whatnot. Here's the landing, nice and crisp and sanded. And you can see the stairs turned out really well also. And here's Eli hard at work applying the first coat of polyurethane. It's always amazing to me just the color difference, but it really brings out the wood grain and just brings out the beauty in the wood. And ultimately there's going to be 3 coats of poly. Here's that initial coat, and the bare wood is just going to suck that right up, but it's also going to close up all the pores and grain in the wood and create a nice base for all the subsequent coats. And here's that maple. You can see just how different it looks from the oak. So there's a good contrasting shot, the bare wood on the left and then first coat of polyurethane there in the dining room. And here's the second coat of poly. Now it is nice and wet and fresh, so it's going to look nice and wet and fresh. And here's the finished product. This is 3 coats of polyurethane, and it took about 11 days start to finish. Of course, I'm showing you everything here in about 5 minutes. But this is the final day. It's got a nice sheen, it's very smooth. I even like the smell. Kind of a weirdo, but I do like the smell of polyurethane. That actually explains a lot. So there's that maple. To me, that room just pops. That is just beautiful. And all the woodwork in that room is also maple. And there's that landing, that final shot. To me, the floor just turned out beautifully, and it was just a project that I didn't want to spend the time doing myself. It's dirty, it's hard, so I'm really glad I hired that out, and I got the right company and take care of us. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that notification button for future content. We'll see you next time.